When it comes to the world of K-dramas and Korean entertainment, some connections feel so genuine that they transcend the screen. And the bond between Junho and Yoona has become one of those unforgettable dynamics. Fans have been buzzing non-stop ever since. Junho sat down for a recent in-depth interview where he was asked directly about his relationship with Yoona, a question that has been floating around the industry and fandom circles for years. While the interviewer phrased it as a light-hearted query about their friendship, Junho's answers, both the words he chose and the emotions hiding between the lines, have sparked endless analysis, speculation, and emotional reactions online. So today, we're diving into every detail of that interview, decoding what Junho really meant when he spoke about Yoona and uncovering why fans believe his words say so much more than friendship. The moment the interviewer casually mentioned Yoona's name, Junho's entire demeanor shifted. Known for his polished professionalism and composed charm during media events, Junho suddenly looked softer, his smile carrying a warmth that fans instantly noticed. He began by saying that his friendship with Yoona is something I value a lot, and described her as a person who brings light into every room she enters. While on the surface, this might sound like a typical compliment from one colleague to another, fans immediately pointed out how personal it felt. The way his voice lowered slightly, the almost protective tone he used, and the choice of words, light, value, every room seemed carefully chosen but emotionally loaded. For fans who have followed their journey closely, it felt less like a professional courtesy and more like an unguarded moment of honesty. Junho didn't stop there. He went on to recall the first time they worked together on their drama project, highlighting how impressed he was by Yoona's dedication and natural energy. He admitted that at first, he was nervous around her because of her star power and reputation, but quickly realized she was one of the most down-to-earth people he had ever met. The word nervous set fans off on another round of discussion. Why would someone as talented and respected as Junho feel nervous about working with Yoona unless her presence meant something deeper to him? His candid admission peeled back layers of vulnerability, rarely seen in his usual interviews, and that rawness made his words linger even longer in the minds of those who watched. Perhaps the most striking moment in the interview came when Junho was asked what makes their friendship so unique compared to his other industry connections. Instead of giving a generic response, he paused for a long second, smiled to himself, and then said, "She understands me without me having to explain too much." That single sentence shook fans to their core. The idea that Yoona could understand him on such an unspoken level instantly fueled interpretations that their bond goes far beyond simple friendship. Comment sections lit up with comments like, "That's soulmate talk, not just friendship." And the way he paused before saying it. You can see he was choosing words carefully, but his heart already answered double quotes. What made Junho's words even more intriguing was his body language throughout the interview. Viewers who are experts at reading subtle signals noted how his eyes softened whenever he said her name, how his hands moved slightly, as if he was recalling memories, and how his usually measured tone would slip into something gentler whenever the topic of Yoona came up. At one point, when asked about their most memorable moment together, Junho chuckled quietly before answering. That laugh, brief, warm, and almost nostalgic, left fans convinced that he was replaying a private memory in his mind, something meaningful that perhaps he chose not to share publicly. Of course, Junho carefully balanced his answers with professionalism. He emphasized multiple times that he and Yoona share a friendship built on respect and trust, making it clear that they support each other as colleagues. Yet, it was the way he described her presence in his life that blurred the lines. He called her a safe space and said that even on the most stressful filming days, simply seeing her energy gave him strength. For many, this went far beyond what you'd normally hear from a co-star. His words painted a picture of two people who not only work well together, but also rely on each other emotionally, finding comfort and balance in ways that suggest something much deeper. Fans wasted no time turning this interview into an event of its own. Within hours, clips of Junho's answers went viral on social media platforms. Edits with slow-motion close-ups of his smile as he spoke about Yoona racked up millions of views. Threads dissecting his phrasing and tone popped up across fan forums, with people writing lengthy analyses about what he really meant. Some argued that Junho was being sincere and simply cherishing a rare, strong friendship, while others insisted his hesitation and glowing admiration revealed feelings that are much more romantic. The fandom divided into playful camps, but everyone agreed on one thing. This interview had solidified that Junho and Yoona share a bond unlike any other. Even beyond the fandom, entertainment reporters picked up on the buzz. Several articles praised Junho for his honesty and vulnerability, noting how unusual it is for top stars to speak so openly about their connections in such a guarded industry. Columnists highlighted that whether or not romance is involved, his words about Yoona demonstrated the power of genuine companionship in a world often dominated by competition and image. For many fans, though, it was impossible not to imagine something more. The interview became another piece of evidence in the ever-growing puzzle of Junho and Yoona's rumored relationship. What's especially fascinating is how Yoona herself has often spoken about Junho in similar tones during her own interviews. She has praised his work ethic, called him one of the most considerate people she knows, and even admitted that he makes her laugh during tough days. When fans put their statements side by side, the parallels become impossible to ignore. It feels as if they're describing each other in ways that only people with a deep personal bond could. This recent interview with Junho simply added more fuel to the fire, making it harder than ever for fans to believe their connection is just friendship. At the end of the interview, Junho was asked what he hoped for the future of their friendship. He smiled again, softer this time, and said, "I hope we can continue supporting each other no matter what comes our way." It was a safe answer, but once again, fans picked up on the sincerity in his tone. There was no rehearsed stiffness, no carefully calculated celebrity phrasing. It sounded like a man genuinely speaking from his heart, leaving fans convinced that Yoona holds a special, irreplaceable place in his life. In the end, decoding Junho's interview isn't about uncovering a secret confession or demanding confirmation of romance. It's about appreciating the rare honesty he showed when speaking about someone who clearly means so much to him. Whether you see it as friendship, soulmates, or something in between, his words remind us that connections in life can be profound and transformative, no matter what label they carry. And for fans, those unseen pauses, soft smiles, and heartfelt praises will always tell a story that lingers long after the cameras stop rolling. So, what do you think, fans? Was Junho's interview truly about friendship? Or did his words and emotions reveal something deeper about his bond with Yoona? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your interpretations. And don't forget to hit that like button if decoding these little moments made your heart race. Subscribe for more updates on Junho, Yoona, and other K-drama stars. And tap the notification bell, so you'll always be the first to know when new unseen stories drop. Because if this is how Junho talks about Yoona in an interview, just imagine what he says when the cameras aren't rolling.